Tommy Boggs was a star-studded sports athlete growing up in Austin, Texas. Lanier High School, now known as Navarro Early College High School, is where Tommy played all the major sports, from swimming, football to basketball, but he was a standout pitcher in baseball. Little did Tommy know at the time that his father would be coaching against his future wife's dad in baseball.
I was married to Tommy for 40 years. He played Little League Baseball with my older brother. I was 7 years old and he was 12. They played on the Balcones Little League here in Austin. Our dads coached the All-Star team together, so I've known him since I was a little bitty girl. I did grow up loving baseball because my father was a pitcher at the University of Texas and actually was the 1953 College World Series MVP for the University of Texas, J.L. Smith. He coached against Tommy's dad a lot, so when they went Little League, Pony, Colt, all that.
Drafted second overall by the Texas Rangers in 1974, Boggs was in a Rangers uniform when they played an exhibition game against the Texas Longhorns in front of a sold-out crowd here in Austin at Dish Falk Field.
The Texas Rangers played the Texas Longhorns. I, as a high school girl, had gone out to the game and was sitting in the outfield while Tommy's on the mound pitching for the Rangers. So the whole warning track was full of, people sitting out there, and I got hit by a baseball out there. So.
Boggs made his major league debut with the Rangers in 1976. By 78, Boggs was traded to the Atlanta Braves organization, where he logged close to 200 innings pitched in 1980 with an earned run average just over 3. TBS and CNN founder Ted Turner was the owner of the Atlanta Braves at that time.
Tommy was playing with the Atlanta Braves when we ended up starting to date. 1982 team. Ted happened to be doing a movie that year, A Long Way to October that season, and it happened to be the season that they had a 13-game winning streak to start the season, which is still an all-time record for the National League. So Tommy was on that team and had several wins.
For my parents, it was a really unique relationship because just as much as Dad loved baseball, Mom did too. Dad was right there beside Mom through pretty much anything. If he had a bad pitching day, he came home and he talked to Mom about it.
After 6 seasons with the Braves organization, Boggs finished his career with the Texas Rangers in 1985, so it was his time to give back to the sport he loved in the town he loved, Austin. Boggs created Select Baseball in Central Texas with Austin Slam in 1986.
When Tommy started Austin Slam Baseball, it became, huge. All the different kids and teams from Central Texas traveled to different places, which brought all of the scouts and such for watching these select kids, the top kids, because it just hadn't happened before the early 80s.
Tommy's daughter, Brooke, who was a Dish Falk Diamond, and son, Austin, who played at Connolly High School before donning the maroon and white at Texas A&M University, both knew what Austin Slam meant to the local baseball community firsthand.
Dad had me switch hitting off a tee when I was, about 2 years old. He'd switch me in diapers, starting to hit. And then with the Slam program, always being around it, it's just something that I always loved. And it was fun to be around. It was fun being around all the guys that were older than me and seeing them play.
When he retired, he saw this need and he was like, we could develop players more if they could then compete against the similar talent. So he was really the pioneer of what is now Select Baseball.
Through the Slam organization, there's been, over 800 kids be able to go play college baseball, but there's also been 22 that were able to play Major League Baseball.
Well, growing up in Austin, Texas, Tommy Boggs was a household name with Slam Baseball. He represented a premier level of baseball.
He taught us how to be great human beings, responsible and good people. Life on the road, traveling, accountability, teamwork. He took me under his wing. I came through his program. I know without Slam, I probably would not have had the vector that I did coming through into high school, eventually onto the pros.
So I got to know Tommy back in 1988 when I played Austin Slam for him. When I was finishing up college, I started coaching for him in the Slam organization and did that for about 13 years. One of the things that really impressed me about him is how much he really truly cared about the kids and would do anything to help them.
He taught me a lot about what it meant to just go out there and give it your best and know that at the end of the day you want to feel satisfied with the job that you've done out on the field.
Dad was very big into wearing your hat the right way, tucking your shirt in, running on and off the field, respecting women, respecting your family.
It all boiled down to family. I remember going on road trips when I was coaching with him, and Suzette, Austin, and Brooke were always there on the trips, always supporting him, always supporting the team.
He always cared about the kids first, but he brought great coaches and great people to be his assistants and help him along each rung of the ladder from the young kids all the way to the 18s.
In 2008, Tommy was honored with the Jackie Moore Lifetime Achievement Award for his service and contribution to baseball in Central Texas.
When he won the Jackie Moore Award, that was one of his fondest things that he did in his life, just because, he worked so hard to get through those barriers of the select baseball.
Jackie Moore, adding to that, was my dad's first minor league manager also, so it definitely came full circle there.
Hired as head baseball coach by Concordia University in 2009, Tommy Boggs would guide the baseball team on their new Tornado Field in 2010.
Tommy helped raise the funds and do things, and really, that meant the world to him to have a D1 feeling for these D3 players.
I was thrilled to think that somebody of Tommy's caliber with his pedigree was coming back to be representing Concordia, and what was built here is second to none. This is a first-rate facility.
Obviously, having a facility was always a dream of his, so getting to coach here at Concordia and building the clubhouse that he did, etc., was something that he really enjoyed.
Mike Gardner was the coach here before, which Mike and Tommy shared the name on the stadium, and Mike is the one that had contacted Tommy to see if he would be interested in maybe helping take what he had started with the program and move along with it. And we had known the Kellers, who was the coach even before Mike. It meant the world to him to be here coaching college kids.
So I was actually fortunate enough to coach with him for 2 years, kind of as hitting coach. There's a lot of good memories out on this field, from practices to working behind the scenes to obviously winning a bunch of ball games here.
I think it made Tuffy feel like players feel confident, so they could play harder.
Boggs surpassed his predecessor Gardner in wins in 2018 and cleared the hurdle of 300 victories in 2020.
He broke the record at 243, ended up with 339 wins before he got sick.
Boggs was walking off the field at Concordia in 2022 when shortly thereafter he got the news that he had cancer.
He thought it was important that his players could see that, he was battling through this and he could make it, but then his strength was getting worse each week. Our very last time we came up here, they were having fall ball. He talked to the boys briefly and I left him with the coaches. He was determined to let those boys see and talk to them and speak to them. He just loved coaching. And that was his last day here at the stadium, as the boys all were patting him and hugging him, and we walked to the truck, and that was it, his last day here.
Tommy passed away October 5th of 2022. Boggs' presence can still be felt everywhere in Central Texas.
Baseball meant so much to him, and so through this legacy, he'll be able to, help kids to be able to play the sport that he absolutely loved.
He really likes baseball.
At the end of the day, Tommy Boggs loves baseball, but even greater, he loves people. Austin lost a legend the day that we lost Tommy.
Dad, he was a great father. He's a great grandfather, a great husband, and dearly missed.
We dearly miss him, and he left a legacy for sure.
Tommy Boggs, a Greater Austin Sports Foundation Hall of Honor inductee.